Hey, grumpy old man here. It's actually several months later. It's now October. I thought I'd do a recap on my Otet, Ohio to Erie Trail trip this summer. It was a. I really enjoyed the trip. That was the first time I ever just decided I wasn't gonna finish a trip. At least finish the trip in the way I had originally envisioned, which was to go from Cleveland to Cincinnati, back up to Cleveland. Ended up stopping in Columbus, where my brother lives. Um, but I really enjoyed the trip, and kind of knowing what I know now about that trail, I would like to do it again. Only the next time I take a different bicycle, one that's geared for all that climbing that I had to do in the in that first 100 and something miles near Cleveland. I had no idea that there was all those kind of steeper things. At one point, I think it was like 12% grade, and I know to most cyclists that's probably not a big deal, but I am not, and I will not ever be in that kind of shape to where having a fully loaded gravel bike is going to be a good idea for steep grade. So, and for those of you who think I overpack, oh well. I probably I started looking at that as well, and everything I pull out, I'm like, I use this. Like, this is something I actually use. I actually have a lighter tent than I've ever used before, which I will not use again. I'm actually going to throw that bivy tent, probably in the trash. It's got too many problems. Its functionality is so limited. I think it'd be great. It's great if you're desperate. But that's about it. I began to call it my sweat coffin. Excuse me. I definitely was not overly happy with it, and I get it. It's a confined space. It was really hot. It was really weird because that trip started out colder than the gear I had with me, and then after 2 nights turned into really hot. I mean, it was like 40 degrees at night, first couple nights, and then it was 80 degrees at night after that. And that little thing just doesn't breathe at all, and it just holds all of your sweat and breath and everything else in it, even with the net open, because it didn't rain. Well, it did. You've seen that, but it didn't really rain when I was camping, like sleeping out. So, unless you're kind of in like the desert where there's almost no humidity, I can't imagine that tent. Oh, by the way, desert with a nice breeze that's blowing the exact right direction that you've aimed the little vents at. Unless you have that going for you, I don't see how that tent is really useful. Plus the zipper broke. Anyways, I enjoyed the trip. I just was not overly pleased with my gear. The only thing about that tent I did like was that it was lighter than the one I usually use. It was also better camouflaged. Better. My other one's like neon green, so it was remotely camouflaged, which ended up being not helpful, because I didn't end up having to kind of quote unquote stealth camp. I was in the middle of a process of interviewing for a job in which any police contact would have been a really, really bad idea for me, even if it was kind of much ado about nothing. My name entering the system would have been caught. And with the new job, I kind of have to be a lot more careful and responsible. You'd think, when you get over 50, you'd try to be responsible. So anyways, good trip. Love Amtrak. I talk about that in my last video. Was it number 36? I think. Just about how much I like it, and I think I've talked about it in other videos. It's very convenient to use. Not a lot else to say, other than one great thing about the trip, and the fact that I cut the trip short, was that I actually got to spend more time with my brother, and he and I really don't ever really get to hang out and talk and those kinds of things, and it was cool doing that. I love him, I love his wife, I love their kids. It was nice to kind of get to know all of them a little better than I kind of do, because we just don't ever kind of see each other. We have our own lives, so that was really nice. That's about it. I've set you up in a kitchen cabinet, so I don't know if you can see the fact that there's like a door here. Anyways, look forward to doing more videos. I have successfully lost another 2 chips somewhere that have my Seagull Century. So if I find those, you'll see that. It was a good ride, that one. So anyways, hopefully I'll be able to show you that. Bye.